There you see the engine gimbal check just peeking out at the base of the rocket.
See, we're getting close there. Look at the clock there. Give us a sense of what those passengers are feeling right this moment.
They are realizing just what I said, that it is so hard to leave the planet, and they are going. And you realize that you are going somewhere, and you are just not going to stop until that engine cuts out, and then you'll be in space. They're getting, the G's are starting to build up. Max Q. It's the highest dynamic pressure of the flight.
So what does Max Q feel like?
30,000 feet, Mach 1.
It's not a sudden thing for us. It's just that you realize that it's the most stress on the vehicle itself, and it's a nice thing to get done with, and that is the most stress on the parts of the vehicle. So now you know your vehicle is doing fine.
To see the glow.
And what are they feeling inside their bodies at this moment?
Just under our shoulders, and to know that we've got a crew that is going to space.
I think I heard you ask about what it's like. They're actually feeling sort of pressed into their seat, as if I tell people it's like having a gorilla sit on your chest, but sort of like gradually, more and more. It's a little hard to breathe, but at the same time, you know that you can. You also know it's not going to last that long. They're coming up on 2 minutes, coming up on Mach 2.
And then they're eventually going to hit Mach
Such a great
3 and weightlessness. Everything going perfectly so far, correct?
As far as I can tell.
All right, coming up here on MECO, main engine cutoff. That will be followed shortly by separation. And at that point, after separation, we're going to let the astronauts unbuckle and take in the freedoms of zero G. There is MECO, main engine cutoff. A beautiful shot down the New Shepard rocket. Look at that view.
This means they are weightless.
Unreal.
Coming up.
So once they hit
Awaiting
zero
separation
Gs,
here.
As soon as they got that separation, there was zero G there.
And here we are. You can start to see. Stand by. You're going to see the separation of the capsule from the booster itself.
and Katie, once the booster separates, what's going to happen?
That's when they are. I'm not sure if you could hear them.
I think that sounds like, yeah, it does sound like the crew inside right now, huh?
It's awesome.
That was definitely
And
a
there
woohoo
we
from
go.
Wally.
Our astronauts have passed the Kármán line at about 328,000 feet, continuing their ascent. You see the two vehicles there. When the speed hits zero, you know that they've hit apogee, their maximum altitude, and you hear they're having quite an experience.
That is a high, Katie, isn't it?
Oh, you can hear it in their voices. There's nothing like it. The floating, the flying, you're flying inside the capsule, and the view of the Earth. That combination. And those windows are as big as you are.
And I imagine that no matter how many times you practiced, it still feels different when it's real.
We call this civilians in space. It's people in space, and when it's real, it's just there's just nothing like that feeling, and it makes you realize that there's a whole big world out there in that universe, and just waiting for us to explore. You can see the separation. You see those two ships there. So the booster's on the bottom there. Well, actually, the booster's probably on the top. Depends on the camera angles, but the brighter one is usually the booster.
landed.
Bullseye for the booster right there on the launch pad.
Control base, let's wait to hear about the booster.
They were happy to hear about the booster. To be able to hear them, they're so calm, excited, but yet so
You
calm.
have a very happy crew up here, I want you to know.
And now they're just floating. You see it right there. You see the Blue Origin capsule.
I see the big barn.
Stand by drogues. Stand by drogues. Stand by main. Stand by main.
Oh, so far, a nominal flight. Here comes the crew capsule back from space. The drogues deployed. Here are the mains out, reefing and coming to full inflation. Our rocket went over Mach 3, and now they're coming floating back down at just about 15 or 16 miles an hour, about to join us home. Back here in West Texas after having gone
So
over
Robin and
the
George, you
carbon
see
line
those
using
parachutes now.
recognized
Those are
lines of
slowing it
space.
down to 16 miles per
world's
hour.
newest
Eventually, before it
astronauts.
hits that desert,
Carrie,
it's
how
going
you
to slow
holding up,
down
friend?
to just 1 mile per hour. So it is a slow and gentle descent.
Gio, it seemed to go about as well as it possibly could have gone.
You know what? We had 15 successful tests before this, George, consecutive tests. Now we can count a 16th, it seems, because this one was the first one with humans on board, and it looks to be going very, very well.
Multiple sensors, just 6 feet above the ground. That cushion of air will puff, and they will have a soft touchdown, almost like just sitting in a chair. But I'm sure adrenaline is pumping out.
What a gentle float.
And George, if you can see the capsule there, it's looking a little bit toasty.
And touchdown.
There we
Welcome back, New Shepard.
There we go.
Human crew. What? What
New
a
Shepard.
flight.
Congratulations to all of you.
Welcome back to Earth. 35
Oh,
seconds
what
ahead of
a
schedule.
But I have a feeling a lot of people are exhaling right now. There's a lot to be thankful for, a lot that they learned. They made it look easy, but we know it was anything but.
Very happy Capcom here as well. Let's do a status check.
Robin, I will tell
Astronaut
you,
Oliver.
from being here on the ground, you hold your breath from the beginning all the way to the end, the sonic boom when the rocket comes back, to watching the capsule float down to the ground and land. I don't think there's anyone here who is not overwhelmed by the moment. I don't think I have been at a loss for words for a long time in my life, and this is definitely one of those moments that leaves you for a loss for words. So this was absolutely amazing and astonishing accomplishment, and just goes to show how far we can go when we really push ourselves. And you know, it was great to hear them up there in the capsule, having their fun, hooting, hollering, and really taking in the moment, because here, just watching them was a moment within itself.
Did you feel it? I know on Good Morning America, Gio was talking about how you have, he was even saying your organs would be rumbling, being that close to liftoff.
You feel it. You absolutely feel it. It gets into your chest, into your bones. The ground shakes. It's a little delay. You see the rocket go up, and you're so far away that then you hear the sound. You feel it. You see the smoke from the engines when they start them up, and it thrusts to space, and you just can't help but be in awe of watching this. This is just magnificent. One of the greatest things I've ever seen in my time here on this planet. And but I'm so happy that this flight went as smoothly and as perfectly as it did, and I'm so excited to talk to them and hear what they have to say about their experiences as well.
We cannot wait for that. Let's give everybody another look at liftoff.
Go, Jeff. Go, Mark. Go, Wally. Go, Oliver. You are going to space.
Katie, we're going to hear, we hope, from all the crew members pretty soon about what the experience was like, what it felt like.